Hey everyone. So today we are gonna see that how you can build your own chatbot application using Ollama and Langchain. So I'll be showing you how you can build this application using the Streamlit and also using Langchain. In between, we'll be using their Ollama as well. And then I'll be showing you how you can preserve the chat history so that if you ask any question with your large language model, it can also see through the chat history and you can also see this chat history at the front application. Then this is the overall things which we are going to cover here. We'll be using Ollama and we'll be also using the Llama 3.2. This is one of the latest model provided by the Facebook. Then you have here Langchain framework. So this Langchain framework will be used to pass the data from the Streamlit application to your Llama. And then similarly, whatever the output comes from the Llama, then this Langchain framework will process that and then it will provide this to the Streamlit application. Then later on, you can also connect with the internet, but this part in current lesson, we will not be showing you here. But as of now, just you can see that you can just put there one extra connection later on if you want to provide internet connection to your system. So some of these things we are gonna cover. In fact, all of these things we are gonna cover, and I'll be also discussing the idea behind this thing. But before that, I'll be also explaining you that why if we have a chat gpt, even after that, why we need to make our own application, because we want to make application which is local to me and I'm not sharing my data to the external system, and also I do not wish to share my data with the external systems or with any external company. So this is all we are going to cover in this lecture series, and we will be also going through with the small presentation, a very small presentation, that what is the NLP, and this presentation was taken from the Wipro. Obviously, all the credit goes to the Wipro for making this presentation. So I just took a quick presentation so that you can explain that what is the NLP, what's the field of the NLP, and what are the applications in the NLP, and how large language model fits in the NLP applications. So all of these things we are going to cover. It is going to be like 50 minutes or around, so 40 to 50-minute lecture series. In that, we will be covering all of these things. Let's go ahead and get started with this. So before we start with this, I'm sure um, all of you must have heard about the GPT, the chat GPT. So chat GPT is definitely a fantastic thing. In last couple of years, it has grown a lot, especially these large language model. So our today's lesson will be based on that, on large language model. I'll be showing you how you can build your own chatbot, and how you can use your own computer, and how you can deploy large language model on your computer so that you don't need to rely on the external systems. So why it is important, why we don't need to rely on external system? You see, sometimes if you are working with the bigger companies, especially in the finance sector or healthcare sector, where privacy matters most, because let's say I'm trying to invest in some stock and I have done my some research, and if my information is being stored somewhere at the cloud, and at the cloud someone else is having that information, then before I make a purchase or make a sell in a particular stock, the person who is there at the server side, that person can do that before I do. So the privacy here matters most, especially in the case of finance and the healthcare. Similarly, in healthcare, this is health data, and this is private to everyone, and it should be private, right? So in these cases, if you put information on the chat gpt, let's say if I open here chat gpt, and I put any information related to stock, right? Let's say I'm saying that I have done research for TCS, it's going up in next week. Let's say this is something I just searched on the chat gpt, but this data is going there at the server side, and there is someone who is having the access here. So that person might get the access of this, and then they can make a purchase before I make this, right? Let me just explain you this with an example, then you will understand currently how this is happening. And then we will go back to our presentation briefly, and thereafter we will start building our chatbot. So the chatbot will be something like this, where you will be asking a question and then it will be replying your question. The important thing will be there. Let me explain you here how the chat GPT and how our chatbot is gonna work. So in case of the chat GPT, this is our chat GPT, and here is a user. So let's say this is me and I'm asking a question, and this question is going to here ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT is replying this question, and then finally it is answering to me. And who is having the access to this ChatGPT? There is someone known as OpenAI. This OpenAI is a company, and obviously there are so many people working with this OpenAI, and there are so many other clients who works with at the data side. So this OpenAI company is having that access, right? So there are so many people at this OpenAI site. You have n number of the users here. I mean, the people actually, right? So all of these people, you see that they are working with the OpenAI. All of these people have access what we just searched here, right? This information they have access. So if privacy matters most for a particular company, in case of the finance and the healthcare sectors, then they don't want to share the data with any other company. They want to keep their data at their own server. So in current scenario, in today's scenario, what I'll be showing you here, that there would be a user. Let's say it is you as a user here, and thereafter here will be your model. This is going to be the LLM model, not as powerful as the chat GPT, but this is something which will be local. There would not be anybody who will be having access to your model or the information. So this user will ask a question to this model, and this will return the answer here. And this whole thing, what you see here, this whole thing, right? So this is something which is local to you, right? Local to you. So basically data never leaves your computer or your device. Whatever you search, there is an environment which is local to you. It will be at your computer only. There is no connection with the internet. If no connection with the internet, then obviously nobody can access this data. So what you see here, this part, in this part, what happens as a user, I ask a question, and then I have a LLM model which is hosted on this computer itself, right? It's not going anywhere outside of my computer. And then it is returning the answer to me. So whatever the critical or privacy concerned question, if I ask to my LLM model, then that thing will be, I mean, whatever the information I share here, that information will be kept at my own computer itself. So I hope that this part is clear to all of you, that otherwise you might ask a question, if we already have chat GPT, then what is the purpose of making this type of the application? So this is something is very much needed in case of the finance and the healthcare. If you work with any asset management company or the finance company or banking sector company, you will always face a question that who is having access to my data, right? So these type of applications are needed for the finance sector companies. Let's say you work with some company, HSBC or JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. So they care about their data. Whatever research they do, they want to keep their data safe and the private on their own computer. They don't want to share it with anybody else, be it Google, Microsoft, or nobody, right? They just don't want to share this. All right, now I hope that this is pretty much clear to you. Let's come back to a presentation quickly, and then we will come back to our application design part. Well, so the first of all, we are going to see here that what's the NLP. I think all of these things are already covered to you. So it doesn't matter, right? I mean, again, going to basics, what's the NLP? Obviously, you know that the natural language processing is like where we are processing, the natural language or language kind of things, right? Be it spoken or written language or whatever. Whenever we communicate from one person to another person or from one entity to another entity, all those things are the communication, right? Let's just come back, fast forward this and come to here. I'm just gonna leave that part. Yeah, just come to here the application part, right? So that I can explain you why this application part matters and why you need to understand this application deeply in the context of the LLM large language models. Okay. All right. So one thing is here the sentiment analysis. So this sentiment analysis you might have done in your course where you might have done with some classical machine learning models uh, with the TF ideas, bag of words. I hope that these things you might have learned there. So that is the one way you can do the sentiment analysis. The other way you can do the sentiment analysis using this large language model. So let's come back here. I just come here and let me just search it here. So let's say I say what is sentiment of love you. All right. So this is generating here a response, this model. It should be showing us the result, a lot of things. It says that. So basically it is saying that this is something like romantic, uh, the feminine love and the platonic love, etc. Overall, this is emotional phrase and this is the positive one, right? And if we can assist our LLM model to return either positive, negative, or neutral, then it can just return those kind of emotion or those kind of the classification to us. All right, return output from only these emotions. I say that here neutral, positive, and negative. So it should be showing us here that this is a positive emotion, right? So you see there the difference here. Uh, if you build a classical machine learning model where you need to train your data, you need to build your model there, some classical or deep learning models you need to train, and thereafter you will be getting these kind of the sentiment. But using large language model, these things are quite simple, right? So with this, in this lesson we will be covering all of these things, how you can customize your LLM model, how you can pay attention on the privacy things if you work with the companies for which this privacy things matters, then these kind of the systems you have to design. Similarly, you can design a chatbot which you can deploy to particular company to discuss about their product segment. I'll come to that part later on. Okay, so this is one thing for the sentiment analysis. Similarly, you can do here wave search and the document search. So currently in the current lesson, we won't be designing this part, but I can explain you how this overall thing works here. So wherever we have our chatbot here, this LLM, what we can do there, we can connect our LLM to the internet, but do remember our data will not go to the internet. There will be only a restricted data which will go to internet. All right, here it will go, and then it will ask here some question, and only those question part will come here, and then it can then work with my data and my question. So basically my data will never go here at the outside at the internet. Only a small part or some modified question will go here. All right, so that is something we can do. So this is web search and the document search. So that's the web search. In the document search, what we can do, uh, let's say you provide a health record to the LLM, and you want to ask some symptoms and the possible diagnosis from your LLM model. So that part you can also do by providing your patient data. Then there is the machine translation. This is kind of, the translation. You have English language, you want to translate it into a French or Hindi, Bengali, Malayalam, or in any other language. Similarly, this chatbot is there. So this is something which we are going to design. There are other chatbots available like Siri, Alexa, Cortana, but these are not that much powerful like the chat GPT or LLM models, but they used to be a good chatbot like 2 years back. All right, and other applications you can think of like automatic text summarizations, grammar check. So this grammar check, there is a company Grammarly, right? This works very well for the grammar check. If you are writing some research paper or any report document, you want to check whether it is grammatically correct or not, then you can use the Grammarly. It is very good tool to check that. You have automatic text summarization. You might have heard about this company in sorts. So this kind of the company, what this company does there, it takes very large amount of the news data. Let's say I say here current global news BBC. Let's say I get some news maybe about this one. No, this is some schedule. Where can I get this news? Yep, here it is. Okay, so this is, a news, large news, right? So in sort is there, which actually summarize these. We can ask this LLM as well, like this, summarize this news in 3 sentences. This is ChatGPT. So it is going to summarize this here, right? It has summarized here. And similarly, this question we can ask from our chatbot as well. We can say that summarize this news, let's say in 4 sentences only. Then I can put it here and then I can ask this. Again, do remember, you might ask that, okay, here it is, right? So this is the assistant who has answered this in the 4 sentences. So this was the original question, and here we have got the answer. But again, let me just tell you that you might be again wondering that if ChatGPT can do that part, then why we are doing this? Again, the question is here the data safety. Currently, we are passing data related to the news. The tomorrow it could be data related to health. Obviously, let's say you have some health issues. You obviously would not want to share this health information with anybody else other than the doctor or hospital persons, right? You just don't want to share it with your some neighbors or anybody else. And similarly, you also don't want to share your finance information with anybody else. So in that case, these kind of chatbots really comes very handy where you manage everything, be it data, be it chatbot, be it infrastructure, everything, right? So now you see that how powerful this chatbot, what we have built here, that this can perform a similar task what ChatGPT is doing here. Similarly, we have a social media analysis like fake news, hate speech detection, etc. For this, I have a video. I have a lecture on my YouTube channel, the KGP Talkie. You can go there and watch. At the KGP Talkie, you can search that. So you will get that. Then you have targeted advertising like on Google, Microsoft, say they do these advertising. So this is like personalized recommendation kind of things, right? And hiring and recruitment, this is also very important part. Nowadays companies are following uh, LLM way or deep learning way, you can say the machine learning way in hiring and the recruitment. What they do there, they have a job posting, and they have a lot of the resume, and then what they do there, they pass all the resume to their LLM model or any machine learning model. So basically what happens there, they have these many of, let's say, the resume there, and then they have here their ML model here, and then there is a job posting as well. Let's say this is J. All right, so they pass all of these. Thereafter, they get the output, that is the matching resume to a particular job. So this is kind of things are also done there in case of this one. Then you have here a stock prediction, all right, based on the news. Let's say you are following some news related to particular stock. Basically, you can search here let's say Bloomberg. So Bloomberg News, you can search there. They can give you in a lot of the information related to markets. Like you see here, investment, how the markets are going up and down, Chinese markets, European market, US markets or Indian markets, how the things are changing, overall global aspects, how the changing. Based on that, you can decide that whether you want to invest in a particular stock or not. So these kind of things are can be also done using machine learning. So basically, you can take all the information from this Bloomberg report and then you can pass that to your ML model, and then you can decide that whether a particular stock or a particular segment is okay for the investment or not. Thereafter, this email filtering, this is very widely used. Spam filtering, generally it is used in Gmail or in any other, you know, the email clients like you have Outlook or any other like AOL, etc. All right, so these are the application. I have also shown you how you can apply this LLM in these kind of the applications. All right, so there are the components. These things I'm sure these must have been covered in your the regular classes. Let's just go back to here. This is something not this one. Where is that? Yeah, here this part is important. So how analysis was happening in old days, like 2 to 3 years back. If I ask my chatbot to find out the sentiment of this particular sentence, so how this used to work. So internally, it used to do the stemming, lemmatization, so much of the text data cleaning, etc., etc. And thereafter, it need to do parsing, grammatical, syntactic, dependency check, etc., etc. So thereafter, it does sentiment analysis. Nowadays, all of these things are done automatically inside the LLM models. That's the large language models like the ChatGPT models. But that doesn't mean that you don't need to understand this. If you want to do some kind of the disruptions or the innovation in the industry, then obviously you have to have these kind of the basic understanding. If you do not have basic understanding and the foundational understanding, this is going to be really very difficult for you to handle handle these kind of the problems. All right. So these kind of the analysis used to happen with the classical machine learnings earlier. All right. Nowadays you see there you have a BERT models. These are these kind of the models which works by transforming your text data into a vector space, a numerical, the vector space, and based on that, these kind of models nowadays works. TF-IDF days have been gone. Now nobody uses the TF-IDFs and the bag of words. Everybody uses their BERT or some kind of the vectorization techniques. Then there is the large language model. So this is something which we have been discussing since starting, and we built our chatbot based on this LLM. Later on, I'll be showing you which type of the LLM we are using currently. All right, so this is something. And what is going to be the career path in this NLP? This is something which I should explain you in deep, right? So see, in machine learning, let's say you just see it from the machine learning point of view. If you are a machine learning engineer, then you have a lot of things to do. Like you can make your career in natural language processing, you can make your career in image processing, you can make your career in audio processing or video processing. There are so many other stuff, right? And if you choose particularly, let's say the NLP, and if you find NLP more interesting, then you can choose these kind of the career for you. Like you can choose here the NLP scientist, NLP researcher. So what's the difference between these? So these kind of things are like the R&D things, right? At the outside, you might not see the output directly, because when a product comes into the market, it comes through the multiple layers. And the first layer is their R&D layer. That's where all the research and the development happens. And then there is an LP researcher. So they develop, they write the research papers, they develop the the models, they makes the hypothesis, and these people uses these kind of the models and the hypothesis to validate those models and with the some real world scenarios. And here you have NLP engineers who develop by combining R&D and D and the research aspects, everything together, so that they can develop a product for the end user, that's the consumer. And then obviously you have a senior NLP scientist and etc. Then you have a data science role where you have a data scientist. So data scientist is not specific to the NLP. The data science roles are, moreover, it's like the machine learning, full stack machine learning, who can handle image processing as well if company demands or if work demands, who can also handles the NLP task or any other kind of task if needed. And similarly, then there is the senior data scientist and then lead data scientist, then the principal data scientist, and all these comes. And if you want to make your expertise in a specific area, obviously, this specific area comes only after you have any of these designation. At least you have some head start. You have started it, right? So you have a chatbot developer, let's say. You can dedicate your career in the chatbot development process, or you can do a search engine engineer, right? So who can, I mean, you can make your career in the search. For example, let's say you have Amazon, let's say, right? Here you have Amazon. So what happens behind the scene? If you come here at this site, you search something, a lot of things happen behind the scene. Let's say you want to search here TV, something like this. All right. So you have all kind of the TVs here, and these TVs are not just coming by getting, okay, there is a TV written somewhere and this output is coming. No, it's not coming just because there is a TV written there. There is so many, there is so many algorithms running behind the scene, and then they are filtering out the relevant candidate, and thereafter the rankings are happening there, and based on who is searching, based on that, these things are shown here, right? And also from where the person is searching. So currently I'm searching from the Mumbai, that is why all those TVs are shown which are deliverable to Mumbai, right? So so all of these things are there, so the person can make the career in a particular field. Okay, I hope that this was clear to you, and it will definitely help you to identify your, pros and cons, so that you can decide that which career, I mean, in which field you want to make your career. All right. I hope that this is now clear. And anyone, if anything, want to ask? Probably no. Okay, no issue. Well, so now let's go ahead and see how you can build your own chatbot. So this is something now we are going to build here. So before we build that, let me just show you here. It would be better if I can log in that here. From one browser, I can access everything. Yep. Okay. So now what we are going to do here, that we will be building this particular part, right? So I told you that there is large language model which is running behind the scene. So let's go ahead and see that how we are going to build that. So the first of all, we are going to select here llama 3.2. So this is large language model named as llama. This is the latest model. Let me just show you that. What is this? You have llama 3.2. So this model was launched like 2 weeks back by Facebook, Llama 3.2, and this is very powerful model. It comes with various weights. So here what you see 1B, 3B, these are the number of the parameters. So there is 1 billion parameter, there is 3 billion parameter, 11 billion and 90 billion parameters. So this model we will be using, and what else we are going to use here along with this llama, we are also going to put this llama inside uh, inside a model, I mean inside a framework that is known as Ollama, right? So this is Ollama framework. And inside this framework, we are gonna put this llama model. So what is Ollama? You see here, Ollama is a framework which actually says, which provides a kind of framework and environment on your local computer or any server wherever you want to host your own large language model. There, this Ollama provides their environment so that you can host your models. There are so many models here. You can click on models. You can see the list of all the models which you have here. Like you have a Llama 3.1 to, and you have here a Gemma, Quen, Pi 3, and so many models, right? So these are the most famous models and high performing models. All of these models you have here, right? So these models we can use. So we will be using here Llama 3.2 model. And this Llama 3.2 models comes in various sizes, like it has 1 billion and 3 billion models. Like this, you can also click on view more. There are many other type of the models as well here. So all these models you have here. All right. So these things we are going to use. First of all, you need to download this Ollama. Once you download it, then you can select here operating system for which you want to download. Let's say I select Windows. Once you download, installation process is pretty much simple. And after installation, I just assume that you have downloaded this and you have installed this. Thereafter, overall process is pretty much simple. Once this is running, you will be getting Ollama running something like this. Do you see this icon there? Something like this icon here. You see there this icon. So that icon, it might be, quite small to you, but yeah, this icon is there. So that icon is there, and this says that here, right? Ollama is there. So after installation, process is very much simple, and then it will run there. If you try to open this, it will not open. So it will not open any kind of the GUI here at the outside. It is just installed in your computer. It will not open at all. So what you need to do here, you need to open your terminal, and in the terminal, then you have to just type there Ollama. All right. So So here if you type there Ollama, then you will be getting output something like this. That means Ollama is installed. If Ollama is not installed, then you will be getting their error, right? So you can say that Ollama help here, right? So with this, all kind of the help will be shown to you. All right, perfect. So now we know that Ollama is installed here. Now what we need to do here, we need to run our model here. So currently I'm already running a model. Just let me just stop that model, and then I can come back here, and then I can start running here. So this is the model which I'm running. I'm just gonna stop this model. So this model is now stopped. And if you stop this model and you try to come here in our chatbot, and if you try to ask answer here, it shouldn't be giving us the answer. I hope that. Okay, so it gave it again. So somehow it is running behind the scenes somewhere. All right, so here I have stopped this from here. Is it running somewhere? Okay, maybe it is running from here. Okay, so from here it is running. Let's say if I just quit it from there, and then if I try to run it, it shouldn't be showing me any kind of, wow, yeah, here, right? So there is no connection because I have stopped my Ollama. Now I can just search my Ollama again from here, and then I can just simply run it. Now you see there is no GUI opens here, but if you come here in the, this tray area, you will see that here your Ollama is running here, right? And if I run it now, you will you should be able to see its output now. Okay, now you see that here it is running here. All right, perfect. So how this happens, I install the Ollama. Thereafter, what you need to do here, you need to also select the model, right? Since during the testing process, I had already selected the model. So that model is already running, you see here. All right. So this model was already downloaded, but the first time if you are doing, then you have to run this Ollama run Llama 3.2 3B, so that at least your at least this model can be downloaded on your local computer. So I click on here, Llama 3.2, and I'm just going to show you with the 1 billion, right? This is very small model. So what I do here, I just copy this thing. I come here and thereafter, now you see there, otherwise I can just close everything so that it can be a fresh start to you. So here I run Ollama, run Llama 3.2 and the 1 billion. Let me just zoom in so that it can visible to you properly. Okay, then I can just run this. Now you see that it is running here. In some time, it has downloaded this model at my local computer, depending on your internet speed. If you have very fast internet, then it will just download in matter of seconds. Otherwise, it might take some time. Now I can ask a question. Hey, how do you, buddy? Let's say, right? It says that, da, 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 right? Similarly, tell me, let's say, joke about the cat. So it's gonna just, tell me a joke about the cat. All right. So the difference here is that with the chat GPT, that this data, whatever I'm asking, this data is not going to the internet. This data is at my computer itself. It's not going outside. That's the difference between the chat GPT and what we are going to build now. Okay, so our model is downloaded here, and now seems like we are done with the Ollama and the Llama. Let's come back here. So this part now we are with this part now we are done. Now we are going to create here a we are going to use here Langchain framework basically, right? So there is a Langchain framework. So this Langchain framework is used to design LLM application. Inside this Langchain framework, we will be calling our Llama model using this Ollama servers. So basically, this Langchain will be calling this one, and then similarly, this Ollama will be returning the answer to my Langchain framework. And then here at the outside, as a user, I am sitting somewhere, let's say here, and then I'm asking the question, right? After this Langchain, one more thing we have to do here. We are also going to put here a Streamlit application. All right, so that I can design my UI here. So what you see here, this is graphical user interface GUI. So this UI we will be designing with this Streamlit, and then behind the scene there is a Langchain framework, and behind the Langchain framework there is Ollama and Llama. Right, so Streamlit application, whatever the question I ask, it will pass to Langchain framework, and then Langchain framework will pass to the Ollama and Llama. And similarly, you will be having here, you have here your Langchain framework, all right, and then this is returning your the answer from this Ollama to Streamlit application. And then finally, as a user, I can ask a question at here Streamlit application server, and then I can get the answer from there as well. So I hope that by I mean till now it is pretty much clear to you guys. Okay, so this user asks here a question, and similarly, this user also gets the answer back from the Streamlit application. So overall process is, I hope that is clear to you now. Let's go ahead and get started with now our Langchain framework. Let me just close this part and this part. Now let me just explain you Langchain framework. So here we have Langchain. So this Langchain is a framework for our LLM application. So you can come here at the document. There you have here Langchain. All right. Then you can come to here the latest one. Maybe that was a little bit better. Yeah, let's say here come to build a simple application. Maybe I should be having that part here. Yeah, this is the latest one. Okay, so let me just take you through some of the basic syntax. Thereafter, I'll be showing you how you can code this right? So the basic syntax, just try to understand that. Okay, it could be a little bit difficult who have not worked with the large language model, but don't worry about that. This is something which you learn slowly. If you're not getting everything with this lecture, then don't worry, it's perfectly fine, it happens. Later on you can watch this video again. So I think this overall lecture is also getting recorded, so you can get that from your college. Otherwise, I'll also upload this on here, my YouTube channel. So from here you can also get this and you can watch that. And there I'll be also putting the link for this code, whatever I'm doing here, so that later on you can also download those code as well from there. Okay, so here you have, yeah, yes. Okay, so here you have the basic syntax. So you need to install Langchain. All right. Currently it is saying here OpenAI, but we will be installing Langchain for the Ollama. All right. And thereafter, these kind of things are syntax, like from Langchain, Ollama, we will be importing like chat OpenAI, similarly chat Ollama. And then there are the messages here, right? So these messages we will be passing to our large language model. So what we see here, our LLM, so this LLM doesn't just request a straightforward some string information what we are asking here. So these information just doesn't go to our LLM model directly, but these information goes through a various process like a system message, human message, or AI message, so that large language model can know that what type of message is this, and similarly the LLM can learn. All right, and then at the output we can put here like str output parser, so it says that what kind of the output we are expecting. All right, so these things are there. So this is the basic syntax. Once we start coding, then you will understand all of these things. Other than that, now what is left here? That's the Streamlit. We have gone through the Ollama, we have gone through the Llama, now we have gone through the Langchain framework. Now what is left? That's the Streamlit application. So here we come with the Streamlit. Let's say, you just search here Streamlit. So here it comes the Streamlit, and this Streamlit, you can come here to the document. In the document, you have all these kind of the API references. So we'll be using a lot of things from here, like we will be using forms. You come here in the fundamental, no, not the fundamental, API references. And then somewhere we should be having form. Let me just search here. Where are we having? I need to expand it, all of these things. So somewhere we will be having like st.form. Yeah, here it is, right? So st.form is here. So it opens a form, something like this. So if you notice here, we have a form like this, right? This is a form. So in this form, we have your input questions, and then there is the button, right? So similarly, we will be having there a button, we will be having here a form, we will be having there a input text area, and this is known as the title, and here this is something known as the, you can say like, just a simple writing area, text area. And these things what you see here, the chat history, whatever this chat history is happening here, this chat history is maintained by the session state, right? So just do remember three to four things. One, a title, another one is write, that's the st dot write. Third one is the session state, and maybe fourth one you can button, and then obviously this text area. So five or max to max six components we are gonna use from the Streamlit. Again, if you're not aware from the if you're not aware of the Streamlit, then obviously you can come to here, at the Streamlit documentation page, you can go through with all of these. But if you prefer any crash course kind of things, those things you can find out here from the playlist. There is a playlist related to Streamlit application. So it has like how many? A lot of, Streamlit application, around 15 Streamlit application tutorials. So you can watch those there from there. Okay, coming back to our application here. Where is that? This one. Okay, so these 5 to 6 components you need to use overall here. So basically now we have covered all of the components, whatever we are gonna cover here. Wait. Stop this. Okay, so we have now covered all of this. Let's go ahead and get started with the coding. These things are up and running already. We'll start with the Langchain framework first of all, and then we will start with the Streamlit application. So here I have my project in VS Code. So first of all, I'm going to create here a Python file. Let's say I say here app.py, and then I import here Streamlit. So I write here import Streamlit as st. All right, so I have my Streamlit. Once you have a Streamlit, then I can just simply write here st dot title, and in this title then I can write, let's say, make your own chatbot. This is something. Now I'm just gonna run this. So how you need to run this? You can just write here Streamlit run app.py. All right, so it just runs here. Let me just copy this from here. I can put it here. Let me just put it here. Perfect. So you have here now, right? And if you compare with this one, so we have this one. Let's copy this. So this brain icon, I also want to copy from here. I can just put that here so that I can get that brain icon as well. And it's something like that. Just put here 3 exclamation mark here, exclamation mark, so that we can know that this is different than what we had earlier. So here is our current one running at 8502. I say here always rerun. Thereafter, I get it something like this. Make your own chat application with Ollama and Langchain, right? Perfect. Thereafter, one thing you will notice here that we have st.write. So this is something which we need to write there. So I'm just going to copy that from here so that I can quickly write it there. So I put it here, st.write, and thereafter I put it here, right? Then come back to this. Now you will notice here that we have got here this one. Now we need to create our form. All right. So how we can create a form? It's pretty much simple. We can use st.form here like it is shown here. st.form, then we can give the name of the form, and then inside the form, whatever the component from the Streamlit we wanna use, all those components we can put here. So I come back here and then I say here with st dot form, and thereafter, okay, let's say LLM form, maybe that would be nice to say here. I have my LLM form here. Thereafter I write here, text is equal to st dot text area, or like this, let's say, right? You have here st dot text area, enter your text data and then submit. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. So now you have got your enter text area and then there is the submit, right? Enter your question or statement we had here. Let's copy this one and put it here so that it, it can match exactly the same thing, but it is perfectly fine whatever you use there, right? Enter your question or statement and then you have a submit there. So you have got now your form. Inside that you have got the text area. This text area you can expand or you can reduce the width of this one, and then you have here a submit. If you click on submit, nothing gonna happen because we are not performing anything as of now with this, right? So now what we need to check here, we need to check that if this button is clicked, then we need to take the question whatever is inside this, and then we can ask our machine learning model to generate the output or generate the the answer. So to generate the answer, now we need to use here Langchain framework, right? So we come back here. First of all, you need to install Langchain, right? So you can say that pip install Langchain. So with this, it will install all Langchain information, whatever you have here, right? We had seen earlier. Yeah, here it is. So this is going to install the Langchain. Thereafter, this Ollama we have to also install. So you can search there Langchain Ollama. So this is something which you have to also install. All right. Yep. Where is this? Yeah, here it is, right? Langchain Ollama. So this is the package. So basically you have to say there the pip install Langchain Ollama. So this will install that, right? So the two things we have seen here, we have in fact. So I'm just going to copy this one from here. So for the reference, I'm going to put it here in the comment. So I have this one and then I have pip install Langchain like this, right? So this is the two things we have here. Okay, perfect. So now I hope that once you have installed Langchain and the Langchain Ollama, then simply you can call chat Ollama from the Langchain Ollama. So you write here prompt Langchain Ollama import chat Ollama. Like earlier we had seen chat open AI. Since we are very much concerned about our data privacy, so we will be using here chat Ollama so that we can store our data on our local system. Our data should not leave our local system. So we have now here chat Ollama. Thereafter we have here our method. Let's say I'm gonna write here a method to generate my response. So I write here generate response and then I say here input text and thereafter I write here model is equal to chat Ollama. All right, so in this chat Ollama, what you need to do here, you need to provide which model we are going to use here. So I write here the model which I'm going to use here. That is going to be the same model which we had downloaded earlier. We had downloaded here this model, right? 1 billion model. So that 1 billion model, I'm just gonna copy and paste it here, Llama 3.2 and 1 billion model. Thereafter, you can ask here a response. This is pretty much simple. And then you can just say that model dot invoke, and there you need to pass your input text data. So this input text data is coming from here, right? Whatever the text data is there, that comes from there, right? Once you get the response, then you can just simply return the response dot content. So basically whatever the output comes, you can just simply return this output from this form application, right? So you have your form. Now you have your LLM application, which is going to return output. Let's go ahead and simply see that whether it is working or not. So what I do here, I write here if sorry, what's the name? If submit, and thereafter I also check here text data as well, so that if person has clicked on submit and there is also some text data inside the form, then it is going to execute this. So it says that okay, response is equal to the generate, and whatever the text was there here, that text will be passed to this function, and then this will return the output here. Let's go ahead and check it out here. So now we have all of this. I say here hi and I click on here. It says that some requested address is not valid. Let me just see that. Seems like the, you know, here at the Ollama, whatever the address we are saying that that's not valid. Basically what we can do here, we can say that where our Ollama is running. So we can pass here base URL. So the base URL can be HTTP localhost and thereafter 11434. So this is the port where our Ollama runs, and then we have here our HTTP, something like this. All right, let's go ahead and come back here and just check it out if it is running properly. Okay, now you see that it says that how can I assist you today? Again, let's come back here. The question which we had asked earlier here, I'm just going to copy this whole thing and then I'm just going to paste it here, right? So this was the overall news here which we had here, and this news I'm going to summarize here. Okay, so it's going to summarize here in a 4 sentence. If I say it summarize it into 2 sentences, it should be able to summarize it into a 2 sentences only, right? Do you see there? There is 1 sentence and here is the another sentence, right? So this is something now we have been, we did using our previous application and with our chat GPT as well, and here with our new application. But one difference, do you notice here that in our previous application, we had there a chat history, right? So as we asked a question, then this previous, the chat history was also being shown there so that a user can track what question was asked earlier. But as of now, this is also a good application. At least you have now a functional a chatbot, the working chatbot with you. Now let's go ahead and see how you can add that chat history part in your application. So the first of all, to add the chat history, you need to get there a session state, right? So we need to get here a session state. So to get the session state, what I'll write here, I say here, uh, I'm going to initialize a chat history inside the st.session state. So I write here, if chat history not in st.session state, then st.session state, and thereafter inside that I'm just going to put here this chat history as the, I'm just going to initialize this as the empty list here, right? st.session state and then the chat history, then this is something which is initialized here. All right. Thereafter, the one thing you will notice here that this print, whatever we are doing here, so this print we are going to remove from here. Another thing I'll also show you here in our previous application when we were asking something, so there was a spinner, right? It was saying that something is happening behind the scene. But here that spinner is not running, so we do not know what is happening. So if you want to add that spinner part there so that you can show progress to your user that what is happening, so that part you can also make here as well. So to make that, what you can write here, you can just simply say that with st.spinner, and then you can say that generating response, please wait, or something like that you can do. And then you can say that, okay, response is equal to generate response. So this is going to generate the response. Now I can delete this part. And thereafter you have here st.session state chat history. So this is something which we had initialized earlier. And then we are appending in this list what we are appending as a user message. We are appending here, our text data. And then for the Ollama, we are appending our response which we had got earlier, right? So this is something which we have appended here. Once you have all these, now in the session state, this is appended. Thereafter, you need to print your, then you can print your history, right? So to print the history, what you can do here, st.write, and then you can say that, okay, this is going to be a chat history. Then you can just simply say that for chat in st.session state, this is going to be a chat history. Then you have your user, then you have your Ollama, or you can say that AI assistant, whatever name you give here. Let's say I say here, this is going to be the assistant. And then you come back here to your application. This is our application. Now, if I run it again, now you can see there, you can see here that first of all there is a spinner which was saying that generating a response. Thereafter, now you have here your chat history, right? Do you see here? Now you have your user is here, and thereafter you have here your assistant there, and user and assistant. The difference is here we had this one let's copy this actually so that we can show that this icon as well. Okay, so we had here user. So this is this icon actually I wanted from there. Other than that, there is another icon for the assistant. I have this one from here, and then I can just simply paste that here as well. This is something now I have here. Let's go ahead and ask here, I mean, run it again. Now I have all these, right? Do you see there? There is the user. It says that summarize this news in sentences, in 2 sentences only. So this is overall news which I have passed here, and this is user question, and then assistant is giving this particular output, and below this you can see all the history there. Similarly, you can say that here summarize this news in 2 sentences. Instead of that, let's say you can ask that tell me about the earth considering I'm fifth grade student. All right, let's say I'm just clicking on submit. It's just gonna tell me about the earth by considering that I'm some beginner. Now you see that it has used, a very layman language to just explain that how it need to explain to a particular, a beginner or fifth grade student. Similarly, if I ask that, let's say, considering I am a PhD, right? PhD student, now it is going to be a lot of this. I mean, it's going to present here a lot of the scientific information. Currently, you see there not much of the numbers, and it has presented here. I mean, let's first see the previous one. Where is that one? Somewhere maybe here at the down it has gone. Okay, here it is currently. Not this one. Yeah, here it is, right? So tell me about earth considering I'm a fifth grade student. So here it has all of these things are here, right? So turn off the lights when you are not using them. Basically, it says that how you can take care of your planet for the fifth grade student. But if I'm a PhD student, then it is telling me a lot of deeper information, like what is the crust, what is the mantle, what is the outer core, inner core, and a lot of the critical information which a fifth grade student might not understand. So you can now see that how powerful is your LLM. One thing we also notice here that our current chat is being added here at the bottom. That is not the right way to do that. So we should be adding our the chat, I mean latest chat at the top. For that I can write here uh, reversed. So basically I can just reverse this history so that the latest should be coming here at the top here. Right now I have here this one at the top, and thereafter we had here the fifth grade. Right now you see that how simple it is, right? So this whole application we build like in 30 to 40 minutes. Now you are ready with your own chatbot application. So this is something which you can design if you apply for any company or you are making a resume. Then I think you should put there that you have built a chatbot, you built there a chatbot. uh, you can just go through again, revisit the lectures and previous lectures. If you're not aware with the Streamlit and other things, then obviously you should go and watch those Streamlit tutorials first, and then you come back and design this chatbot application. I hope that this is pretty much clear, and I was able to deliver what was expected, and you guys were able to understand this. Overall, this was my goal for the today's lecture, and other goal was that I did not bore you guys, right? I hope that you just enjoyed this. Okay, all right. I hope that this is all right.